切，就看你能不能把握这次胜利。
此处正是坐标所示的位置。
当心，下面有人！
开什么玩笑？傻子才接手，是降神之主的弟子们。
九霄河。
Swallowed Star, Episode 216. Luo Feng infiltrates Craftsman, God Star. After breaking into Craftsman, God Star, Luo Feng was thrown into a cosmic deadly zone and hunted by 3 universe overlords. Shockingly, it turned out to be another scheme arranged by Sitting Mountain Guest for Luo Feng. After Luo Feng obtained the top-tier treasure sword River Luo, he contributed it to the human territory. In exchange, he received treasure points and redeemed another supreme treasure, the 9 Xiao River. The power of the 9 Xiao River was far beyond that of the Golden Thread Aurora Mirror. Previously, when burning divine power to activate the Golden Thread Aurora Mirror, it took quite a while just to annihilate an ordinary universe venerable. But with the 9 Xiao River, a brief charge was enough to annihilate a mid-level universe venerable. If its power was concentrated into the 9 exotic beasts within the domain, it could directly inflict severe damage on a mid-level venerable. With repeated attacks, the opponent could be completely annihilated. Even a high-level universe venerable would feel as if trapped in a swamp once caught within the domain, their movements greatly restricted. Even a universe overlord would see their speed drastically reduced. This meant that if Luo Feng encountered Tianyang Venerable again, he would definitely be able to trap him firmly and never allow him to escape. After putting away the 9 Xiao River, Luo Feng began planning his next move. This journey to the primordial star had shown him just how many powerful beings existed among the countless races of the universe. It also made him realize clearly that his current strength was still far from enough. Although he had set his sights on Tianyang Venerable's treasure wings, hoping to merge them with his own Wu Slayer wings, there was something more important to do first. He needed to travel to the Yinfa secret realm and retrieve the 4th black metal plate left behind by his teacher, Sitting Mountain Guest. Back then, Sitting Mountain Guest had left him 3 trials. At the World Lord level, he could obtain the 3rd black metal plate. At the Immortal level, he could obtain the 4th. At the Venerable level, he could obtain the final one. During the previous journey to the ice prison, Luo Feng had been trapped for over 2,000 years, wasting a great deal of time. Now that he had already broken through to the Universe Venerable level, it was time to complete this trial. He knew very well that the Yinfa secret realm was infamous throughout the universe for its danger comparable to the ancestral god secret realm, but if he could obtain the 4th black metal plate, there was a very high chance that his golden-horned beast clone could reach the perfect gene level. At that point, he would be able to use the innate secret technique awakened by the Nether Sea clone, I am the universe. His strength would undergo a complete transformation. After making thorough preparations, Luo Feng quietly left the human territory. After more than a month of interstellar travel, he finally arrived at the Yinfa secret realm. To prevent any loss of his treasures, he made careful arrangements. The golden-horned beast clone carried all the treasures and stayed in an ordinary spacecraft over 3.0 light-years away from the destination. Meanwhile, Luo Feng himself brought the Earthling original body, the Nether Sea clone, and the Mosha race clone toward the target of this journey, Craftsman God Star. Even if the mission failed, he would at most lose some divine power without harming his foundation. Thanks to the Mosha clone's extreme mastery of the space law, Luo Feng crossed over 3.0 light-years in just 3 teleportations. He soon arrived at the outer region of Craftsman God Star. Before him, the void was filled with countless natural wormholes, a total of 98,200. Most of them had stone tablets beside them, marked with warnings such as Danger Forbidden Land, and even the ominous words Deadly Zone. Only the wormholes without stone tablets led to safe regions. At the deepest part of the void stood a colossal planet, Craftsman God Star, with a diameter of 3.2 trillion kilometers. Its fame across the universe did not come from its size. It came from the being who lived there, the Craftsman God Lord. This universe lord was a special life form known as a mountain giant. Since his youth, he had been obsessed with artifact forging. After endless ages devoted to the craft, he was recognized by countless races across the universe as the greatest master in forging supreme treasures. Even more astonishing, the entire Craftsman God Star itself was a top-tier flying palace-type supreme treasure, personally forged by him. The Craftsman God Lord did not belong to any faction. His own strength was extremely powerful, and through his forging abilities, he had befriended countless top experts. Because of this, no one dared disrespect him. There was also an iron rule on Craftsman God Star. Killing was absolutely forbidden. Many special life forms had migrated here to live under his protection. Countless experts from various races of the universe also came here specifically to become his disciples and learn artifact forging or to ask him to forge treasures. After landing on Craftsman God Star, Luo Feng immediately felt a powerful summoning from the fourth black metal plate hidden inside his world ring. Even the world ring could not block the call. He clearly sensed that the metal plate was inside Craftsman God Mountain ahead. On the way, he encountered a local special life form named Bonisha. This green energy life form had lived on Craftsman God Star since childhood and knew everything about the place. It told Luo Feng that Craftsman God Mountain was the residence of the Craftsman God Lord and his direct disciples. No one else was allowed to enter without permission. At the foot of the mountain, more than 500 experts from different races were kneeling, all seeking apprenticeship. Among them were nearly 200 universe venerables, and even some immortal-level geniuses capable of forging ordinary heavy treasures. Luo Feng secretly felt relieved. Fortunately, he had not impulsively tried to become a disciple. He knew absolutely nothing about artifact forging. Not only could he not forge treasures, he could not even engrave the secret patterns on ordinary weapons. There was no way he could infiltrate Craftsman God Mountain through apprenticeship. So he built a simple courtyard at the foot of the mountain and stayed there. While observing the movements of Craftsman God Mountain, he patiently waited for an opportunity. Half a year passed. During these 6 months, Luo Feng gradually became familiar with the venerables from various races who had come seeking treasures. He also learned more about the situation on Craftsman God Mountain. Among the 182 disciples of the Craftsman God Lord, the strongest were only Universe Overlords. Not a single one had reached the Universe Lord level. Then one day, a disciple of the Craftsman God Lord came down the mountain and casually revealed a piece of news. Their master had gone out to visit friends and might not return for thousands or even tens of thousands of years. When Luo Feng heard this, his eyes instantly lit up. The greatest obstacle, the Craftsman God Lord, was no longer on the mountain. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If he missed it, who knew how long he would have to wait again? That very evening, he sent out the Mosha race clone, carrying the Earthling original body, and quietly infiltrated Craftsman God Mountain. Using the Mosha clone's innate secret technique, Domain Luo Feng perfectly concealed his presence. Even a universe venerable would not detect the slightest spatial fluctuation. With 2 short-distance teleports, he locked onto the core region deep within the mountain, using his sensing of the black metal plate. However, this area was covered by a large-scale space lockdown, preventing teleportation, clearly an important area of Craftsman God Mountain. While hiding behind a rock, Luo Feng overheard a conversation between 2 immortal-level disciples. From them, he learned that the central core of the mountain was where the disciples forged artifacts. The core flames used for forging came from a black gourd located at the deepest part of the mountain, and the 4th black metal plate was inside that gourd. Carefully avoiding all the forging disciples, Luo Feng infiltrated deeper into the mountain. Finally, he saw the floating black gourd. The gourd stood more than 3 meters tall, continuously spewing endless flames. All the fire within the mountain originated from it. Around the gourd were 36 void chains connected to the entire Craftsman God Star, constantly absorbing energy from the void and converting it into the ultimate forging flames. Luo Feng instantly realized that the gourd was the energy core of Craftsman God Star. It was impossible to move it. The only solution was to enter through the mouth of the gourd, grab the metal plate, and immediately escape. However, 3 attempts ended in failure. The first time, the Mosha clone had barely entered the gourd when terrifying flames instantly annihilated it. The second time, the Earthling original body entered and only managed to glimpse the black metal plate at the bottom. In less than 1/10,000th of a second, the divine body completely disintegrated. For the third attempt, the Nether Sea clone entered. Even though its divine body possessed an enormous total mass, it only managed to fly halfway before being completely devoured by the flames. Only then did Luo Feng finally understand that the core flames inside the gourd possessed terrifying power beyond imagination. Ordinary treasure armor simply could not withstand it. If he wanted to retrieve the metal plate, there was only one solution: he had to wear his top-tier supreme treasure. the Tribulation Armor. But the Tribulation Armor was the most valuable treasure in his possession aside from the Star Tower. Even after becoming a Universe Lord, it would still remain extremely valuable. If the operation failed and the armor was lost inside the gourd, the loss would be immeasurable. Inside the spaceship, Luo Feng pondered for more than 6 hours. In the end, he made up his mind. Although the Tribulation Armor was precious, the fourth black metal plate could bring a qualitative leap to his strength. As long as his golden-horned beast clone reached the perfect gene level, even if he lost the Tribulation Armor, he would eventually have the strength to reclaim it. Moreover, the armor had already been fully soul-bound to him. No one else could use it, and with Sitting Mountain Guest backing him up along with the endless regeneration of the Nether Sea clone, his life was never truly in danger. He immediately handed the Tribulation Armor Wu Slayer wings and the 9 Xiao River to the golden-horned beast clone. Then he had the Mosha race clone bring it once again deep into the interior of Craftsman God Mountain. The moment the golden-horned beast appeared, it immediately activated secret techniques such as True Body Heaven and Earth and Beast God transformation. Its strength rose to the absolute limit. It then shrank to the size of a fist and directly drilled into the gourd through its mouth, entering the flame space inside. The moment it entered, terrifying heat surged in from all directions. Fortunately, the Tribulation Armor instantly erupted with power, reducing the flame's destructive force to 1/10,000th. Even though the divine body was slowly being consumed, the loss remained completely controllable. The golden-horned beast immediately flew toward the bottom of the flame space. Inside its body, the Nether Sea clone continuously replenished its divine power. Very soon it reached the bottom. There within the flames lay the fourth black metal plate. However, the metal plate was wrapped in a layer of secret technique sealing, connected together with surrounding precious materials. The golden-horned beast instantly activated the Wu Slayer wings, violently cutting through the seal. With one claw, it grabbed the black metal plate and swallowed it into its body. In that instant, it branded the plate with its life imprint. A massive amount of information flooded into its consciousness. After obtaining the metal plate, the golden-horned beast did not dare delay even for a moment. It immediately turned and flew toward the mouth of the gourd. But the moment it exited, an overwhelming pressure descended from the heavens. The entire space was completely sealed. The returning Craftsman God Lord had already discovered the intruder. A massive glassy-colored rocky arm pierced through the flames and instantly grabbed the golden-horned beast. Terrifying force crushed down upon it. Even with the Tribulation Armor weakening the attack, the golden-horned beast's divine body was rapidly being consumed. What surprised the Craftsman God Lord was that even with his full-power grip, he still failed to crush the intruder to death. He also sensed that Luo Feng had merely taken a seemingly useless black metal plate, so he decided to spare his life. The next moment, space-time reversed. The golden-horned beast was thrown into the void outside Craftsman God Star. Right in front of it was the natural wormhole marked Deadly Zone. The thunderous voice of the Craftsman God Lord echoed within Luo Feng's mind. Since Luo Feng had managed to withstand his full-powered grip, he would be given a slim chance to survive. An invisible force immediately hurled the golden-horned beast clone directly into that wormhole leading to the Deadly Zone. Standing in the void, the Craftsman God Lord revealed his true form. His body was a mountain range, stretching tens of millions of kilometers. More than 100 glassy giant arms extended from the mountain body. A single eye on the rocky surface gazed down at the vortex as he softly sighed at Luo Feng's fate. Because this, too, had been arranged by Sitting Mountain Guest. The strength of the Craftsman God Lord was powerful enough to confront a universe supreme being head-on. With the Flying Palace, Supreme Treasure Craftsman God Star in his possession, he was also the top artifact forging grandmaster whom the entire universe sought to curry favor with. Even several universe supreme beings were close friends with him. Yet such a supreme existence, one whose mere stomp could shake the universe, obeyed Sitting Mountain Guest without question. He even willingly regarded Sitting Mountain Guest as his lifelong teacher. Naturally, he executed this instruction perfectly. In his heart, he knew clearly that this apparent punishment of exile was actually a life-and-death trial arranged by Sitting Mountain Guest for Luo Feng. If Luo Feng failed, it would become a deadly prison lasting hundreds of millions of years. But if he succeeded, he would truly earn Sitting Mountain Guest's recognition. The Craftsman God Lord turned and returned to Craftsman God Star, At the foot of the mountain, hundreds of universe venerables and immortal beings were still kneeling, waiting to become disciples. Experts from countless races gathered there, all hoping to obtain a supreme treasure personally forged by him. Yet no one noticed that Luo Feng had already vanished. Meanwhile, Luo Feng's earthling original body was in complete shock. Although he could maintain consciousness connection with the golden-horned beast clone, he could not sense its location at all. Not even the cosmic coordinates could be locked. The golden-horned beast that had passed through the spatial vortex had already arrived in a strange, deadly region. This seemingly ordinary sea of stars was filled with abnormalities that defied all understanding. There were no spatial fluctuations whatsoever. It was impossible to connect to the virtual universe. He could not sense his own divine kingdom. Even traveling faster than light could not enter the dark universe. It was completely isolated from the original universe. Even the loss of divine body could not be replenished by the Nether Sea clone. At that moment, Luo Feng suddenly understood. This was not a punishment for theft. From the World Lord level to immortal, then to venerable, the 3 black metal plates had each been part of a layered trial. The life and death tempering in the ice prison. All along, Sitting Mountain Guest had been secretly tempering him, and this deadly zone was the 4th trial prepared for him. Even though the future was unknown and life or death uncertain, Luo Feng felt not the slightest hesitation. He knew clearly that strength alone was the foundation for survival in the universe. Immediately he transformed into a streak of light and shot toward the depths of the endless star sea at light speed. Soon Luo Feng discovered something astonishing. The speed of light in this deadly region was actually 100 times that of the original universe. It reached a shocking 30 million kilometers per second. Even the extension speed of divine power increased proportionally. He accelerated to the absolute limit, until he reached 100 times the light speed of the original universe, touching the speed ceiling of this strange world. Yet he still could not enter the dark universe. Only then did he completely confirm that the laws governing this universe were fundamentally different from those of the original universe. But despite being trapped here, Luo Feng had actually gained far more than he lost. Before being thrown into the spatial vortex, his golden-horned beast clone had already swallowed the 4th black metal plate and completed the recognition process. The previous 3 metal plates had only allowed him to assemble the cultivation method for the first 5 tribulations of the 9 tribulations secret manual, but the 4th metal plate directly completed the full content up to the 7th tribulation. Taking advantage of the unrestricted environment in this deadly zone, Luo Feng's earthling body and golden-horned beast clone simultaneously began cultivating the 6th tribulation. With the trump card of his undying body, he had no fear of the backlash that came from cultivation failure. And so, Luo Feng continued flying through the starry sky at 100 times the speed of light for more than a year. Finally, he arrived at a star system containing 3 strange planets. But before he even had time to investigate the surroundings, 3 terrifying auras that had been sealed for endless ages suddenly erupted. The 3 universe overlords, who had long disappeared from the universe for nearly 200,000 eras, were all trapped here.